everyone, welcome back to the channel. Short video today on some of your tire options for super singles or some of the more narrow ones that you can use for a dually setup. After about 11,000 miles, those front tires got so loud that it was undrivable. These only have about 3,000 miles on them, so still look pretty new. Again, these weren't on the front. It was the front that really got goofy. So you can see, every other line of tread block is about a quarter-inch lower than the other. Again, this is a total of, at this point, probably 13,000 miles on them that they did this. Even if you don't run into this wear pattern issue, just the fact that they're only going to last you about 20,000 miles at best is enough for me to say steer clear of these. They're cheaper than most. They're more available, but not worth it in my opinion. My rear dualies were fine, and I happened to stumble again on these on eBay, the Goodyear G275. This is again a 335 80/20. On paper and in reality, these are quite a bit wider and a bit taller than the Continental, and these are like $2,500 a piece. So I was not looking to buy them necessarily. I knew they were going to be too wide to run on my duals. But I found these on eBay. One was brand new, the other was just barely used for $130 each from Colony Tire. Just two of them. So, at that price, I thought, well, I'll just grab these and see how I can use them. Unfortunately, one of them had a pretty good, I don't know if I'll be able to find it, there was a gouge in the sidewall. It held air fine, and it really, I don't think it was all that deep. Didn't really feel safe with the weight of my truck to run those things. So I put them on briefly, and interestingly, with weight on them, when I had duals in the back, the dual Continentals, and just singles up front, they measured out to about 1/8 of an inch difference in diameter, so extremely close. With those up front, much, much quieter. I think in terms of these three tires, the Continental, the Goodyear, and the Michelins, these G275s are going to be by far the quietest tire. Biggest issue they have, I think, other than price, is I've heard they're fairly hard to balance. They often come out of round. A place like Stasworks will shave them and balance them nicely. So if you get them, plan on potentially some time spent to get them balanced and smooth. But other than that and price, I think these are really probably one of your best options. Again, I'm not going to be able to run duals with the width of this 335. So the other nice thing about these is they're an M speed rating, so that's 81 miles an hour. These are rated for 6,395 pounds at 80 psi. So they're about 400 pounds less than the Continental, so 800 pounds on your rear axle. That can come into play if you're running an ambulance or one of the big triple slide truck campers. Other little basic fact, you got to watch out with these military surplus. Some that are even brand new have been sitting around for a long time. So look for this DOT number. So you'll see DOT and then find this number. So that this tire was made in the 21st week of 2016. So from what I've read, most manufacturers say 10 years is kind of the life expectancy. You start to get some dry rot potentially, which these don't have, but depends on kind of the elements they've been exposed to just sitting there. So anyway, that was a temporary thing. I probably would have run that for a while because it was a nice setup, but again, kind of that gouge sidewall. Was kind of looking around on eBay again, and I found these Michelin XZLs, 365 80/20s, brand new, really good price, all about 5 years old by their DOT number. I knew that, you know, people were running 365s on their 45, 5500, so, you know, thought, what the heck, got a set of these, ran super single out back for a while, and then again, kind of looking at longer trips where I got to get out west on the freeway, you know, thinking about the stability and safety that the dually provides. Kind of looked at these 11R20 size, which again is sort of the same diameter, 43 inches. So I got those on the back now. 365s will take some work. Your offset's going to make is going to make or break you. If you're too wide up front, you're going to rub, you know, your bumper, middle of the kind of back of your wheel well. But if you're tucked in a little too far, you can see I'm just barely rubbing on my sway bar. So it's a tight fit, even with some lift on this thing. Michelins are quieter than the Continentals so far. They're supposed to, you know, last a long time, 50, 60,000 miles, same as the Goodyear. So Goodyear and Michelin are going to last much, much longer than the Continentals. The Michelin is also a K speed rating, so 68. I'll get some tire temp while traveling. So that's kind of where we're at. Just looking at all three of these tires. The Continentals were made in the Czech Republic. The Goodyear was made in the USA. Michelin's, the front, the 365 are made in Italy. My 11R20s are made in Spain. The Michelin 365 is rated at 7830 pounds at 90 psi. The speed rating was at 85 psi, and the 11R20s rated at 7390 at 120 psi in the single setup, and 6780 at 120 in the dual setup. The speed rating was at 115 psi. So those are kind of here's a tiny little civilian light truck Maxxis Razor AT 40 by 13.5. Really nice tire, very quiet, smooth, decent price. Didn't run them for very long. Because like I said, I really need the weight capacity. I'd love to be able to run a 40 by 11.5, or even 40s look a little small in the front, but if they made a tall, skinny, light truck tire, would be nice. We'll see how long these Michelins last. I think they're gonna be slow to wear from what I've read. So let me know any questions you have. Otherwise, that's kind of it for the basics of these three tires that I've tried. Thanks for tuning in.